Hey guys, Willie and Murfitt here, and on tonight's episode we're going to be rebuilding the lower suspension arm and the tie bars.
I know you don't love me like you say you do.
So they are all painted up, looking pretty swanky if I don't say so myself. So that's the suspension arm, and I've got a lower bolt, I've got some bushes, I've got some collets, and I've got the nuts and bolts. So what we'll do is we'll build it all up and then we'll fit it onto the car, tighten it all down, and hopefully that will do that. So that's that part of it. The next part is the tie bars, and these go at the front. You will notice on the tie bars there is a bit of a kink in these. That's supposed to be there, and so it comes out and then down and then onto the arm here. The arm bolts into this hole and they all join nicely together. So with the tie bars, I've got the bushes for these as well. I've got everything there that I need. So I guess less talk and more action. Let's do it. Okay, so let's start with this lower arm then. So what we have in the kit is I've got my lower arm, I've got my wiggly bolt. Now the reason this is like this is because the drive shaft fits through this gap here, and that sits nicely so that we can have the shaft rotating. I've got two bushes which will go into this part of the lower arm. I've got two collets which go inside the bushes. I've got a washer and I've got a nut obviously to go onto this end of the bolt. There's not a real lot you could do wrong with this. The only thing I would suggest is to put some sort of lubrication onto these bushes as they go in. You can use the likes of KY jelly, which is really handy to have. It's cheap to buy and readily available. I'm going to be using this multi-purpose grease, just a tiny little blob around just to make sure it fits into this hole nicely. So a tiny bit on my finger, just rub that round. Do it on the inside as well because that collet's going to sit inside there. I get that collet and push it in. And the same for this one here. Just rub that round, a bit inside. It doesn't need much. It's just to sort of help seat all the bits and pieces you've got here. And then we're going to push this one into here. And the other one goes onto the other side. And I tend to just squeeze it in place. Okay, so the bushes are now pushed in. Now what I'm going to do is when I fit this to the car, I'm going to fit this through there like that. And as I clamp down the bolt on the end, or the nut on the end, that is going to pull these two bushes together. So there's no need to compress them in or any reason like that. So let's take it back out. I'll just make up the other side quickly. That's both sides now made, ready to be fitted to the car. Okay, so now we're going to get to the point where we can start to fit the lower arm. Now I use this piece of paper here so you can see the hole here? That is where the bolt goes through, and the one back here, no way we'll be able to see that, there's a small hole this side. So we'll take the wiggly bolt. Now the reason it's wiggly is because when the drive shaft sticks through this hole here, that there will be able to clear it and that'll be able to turn around. So if I put this in, just to sort of give it a quick test fit, I can make sure that it slides into place and locates. Now there's a bit of a plate here, I don't know if you can see that at all. Now the plate is to locate this part of the bolt. I'm going to push that back out because that fits nicely. Ooh. You'll see that the bolt has got a flat end of it. Now the flat side of it butts up to that ledge, and that locks it into place. So what I'll do, because I'm happy that this is going to fit into the hole, I'll give it a quick bit of copper grease onto the threads, and slightly onto the shaft as well. And as I put this in, it will be able to lubricate up the arm. Now the arm itself, it's not sided, it can be fitted one way or the other. Now this little hole here needs to be facing frontways, so that when the tie bar fits from the front to the middle, that'll be able to line up. Put that bolt through. Now it shouldn't need any force to fit that. Providing this hole here is clean and the hole on the other side is clean, it will just slide straight in. And then as you tighten up this end, we're using your nut and washer. That'll compress the bush, and that side is done. Okay, so what you'll see is, as I put the washer and the nut on and tighten the nut up, the arm will get pulled this way. It will locate better in this hole here where my thumb is. So it will locate better in here, and it will also compress this bush up to make it more secure. Just tighten that. There we go. Now can you see this part here just coming further into shot? Okay, so I've got my torque wrench now set to 45 Newton meters. Just give it a tighten up and perfect. The lower arm is now on. You've got that pivot in movement that you're going to get from your road suspension. Now I'm going to fit the tie bar to go from here across to the front of the car. Okay, so moving now forward to the tie rods or tie bars. So we have a solid bar with a bit of a kink in one end of it. Now the kink is there so it can make clearance from the front of the subframe round towards the lower arm. Now we're going to put one of the bushes on, feed it through the front of the subframe. The second bush will go on, leaving a little sort of step going in towards each other. Now that is enabled to enable it to go through the hole in the front of the subframe. Next up is the sort of coned washer. Then we have the flat washer, followed by the retaining nut. So the gap here will be the fill with subframe, and on the other end we're going to use a nut and bolt to go through to secure the tie rod to the lower arm. So let's get it done. So we'll line the front of the tie bar through. Using a 13mm or a 1/2 inch. Go through that. Tiny blob of copper grease on the thread. I'll leave it relatively loose for now because I haven't got a washer on there. So the other part of this, as I say, the stepped side of it goes into the subframe. Then I've got the stepped washer, then I've got the flat washer, and then I've got my nut. But before I put them on, just put a bit of copper grease onto the threads here to try and protect the threads. Angled washer, flat washer, and then we'll tighten that up. So using a 17mm socket, Just tighten down this front tie bar. And then that is the front suspension complete. Okay, so that's it for the lower arm section. So just make sure it's nice and tight. Just go check everything is done, and then we'll have some working lower suspension. It's pretty tight at the moment because I was only balanced on this axle stands, and it's all pretty fresh. So when the suspension goes on and the hub goes on, that will get a bit more movement on it. So I guess in the next video, we'll be looking at building up the upper arm, which is a little bit more involved, and getting that suspension all done. So thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up button. Please comment below. And if you can, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future content. The stuff I've got coming hopefully is going to be really beneficial for you guys to learn, develop, and improve your skills, as well as a bit of a refresher for the guys that have done it every now and again. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.